What's up, Brian Tong here, and there's a whole lot to talk about. WWDC 25 is happening in just under 2 weeks, but the smart glasses war, that is just heating up because a recent report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman claims Apple is expected to launch their own smart glasses by the end of 2026, which is next year. The glasses would be Apple's answer to Meta Ray-Bans and potentially an answer to the Android XR glasses that I got to try on in the video that I posted from Google I/O. And everything I said there is still true. Apple feels incredibly behind with Gemini's capabilities, which is exactly what wearables need to move this product category forward. Can Apple's Siri and Apple Intelligence make a big enough leap to do something similar in 2026? Because it seems like a real daunting task based on what we know at this moment. The Apple smart glasses are expected to include cameras, microphones, and AI capabilities. Gurman also says the glasses will take photos, record video, provide translations, give turn-by-turn directions, play music, handle phone calls, and give feedback to what a user has seen, but there won't be any augmented reality capabilities included. So it's nothing that we haven't seen before, but just done in the Apple way. Siri is also expected to be a key part of the experience, and it better improve significantly. Gurman says the glasses are similar to the current Meta Ray-Ban glasses, but better made. And it remains to be seen who Apple partners with for the frames, if they partner with anyone. We know that Meta has Ray-Bans. Then you've got the Android XR announcements with Gentle Monster and Warby Parker. Those are two giants in the frames industry. So what will Apple do? You know, throughout 2024, I talked about what Apple needed to do with Apple Vision Pro and to make an impact in the wearable space. And one of the things that I pounded on was making a lower tech, low-hanging fruit version of Meta Ray-Bans in Apple's way, and it sounds like they're doing exactly just that. The Bloomberg report says Apple is targeting a late 2026 launch, and work on the smart glasses have ramped up. Their plan is to produce large quantities of prototypes by the end of this year before mass production and an official reveal comes next year. And then we also have to consider Apple's pricing versus the rest of the industry as well. It's likely going to be higher, and we know how that hurt the Apple Vision Pro. So after seeing where Google's at and the live demos and the hands-on experiences that I had with Android XR glasses, Apple's going to have to really impress us a whole lot to leap their competition. And all of this competition is a good thing. We've got Meta and Samsung and Google and Apple, and you've got other form factors from XReal and Ray Neo all trying to come up with compelling solutions in this space and targeting it or doing it a different way in some cases. But I'm in the mindset that when it comes to Apple, that I'll see it when it happens. And I don't doubt they can do something compelling, but when you're talking about wearables and AI, the fact is Apple is trailing behind in those areas significantly right now, but we'll see how they can maybe close the gap. Will we see anything that points to this new wearable future at WWDC 25? Because Apple sent out their official invites, and I will be there on site to report back with everything that Apple announces. So expect a boatload of videos from DubDub when I'm there. The keynote will happen on Monday, June the 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and there will be other events and activities happening around WWDC. But how will Apple first respond to the Apple Intelligence failure to deliver this time around? Will they address it? How will they position that? What will iOS 19 and this rumored glassy Vision OS inspired facelift look like? Will it be enough to generate some new excitement and buzz? What new features or platforms will we see at WWDC? Because I'm thinking, will this smart home hub finally be revealed? We haven't heard a peep this year so far. And I've said this before, but this time, yeah, I will say it again. This is a really important WWDC for Apple with everything that is happening around them. And no one is taking down Apple anytime soon, but is there a collection of things just chipping away at them right now? We already know Apple's behind in the AI race. In the wearables and smart glasses space, they're also trailing. Jony Ive and his new partnership with Sam Altman's OpenAI teasing a new product that will completely reimagine what it means to use a computer. Big words, but it was really just a very well-produced bromance video that was two Silicon Valley guys glowing about each other without announcing anything at all. The announcement was that they love each other. Even this photo here looked like they were announcing that a new baby was on the way, and you know what, maybe there is one. But the big takeaway, have we ever seen Ives be this excited about someone or anything like this since Steve Jobs? I don't think we have. We just haven't. And reports claim that this third core device after the MacBook and the iPhone from Ives will not have a screen, and it's a device that you wear around your neck that's slightly larger than Humane's discontinued AI pin, but it will look as compact and as elegant as an iPod Shuffle. It would have microphones for voice control and cameras that can see the user's surroundings, and it would connect to smartphones and computers. The product is expected to enter mass production in 2027, and some of you might be rolling your eyes a little bit. Look, I'm not convinced of anything yet, but the partnership is fascinating, and you cannot sleep on an OpenAI and Jony Ive joining forces. Now, if we're looking at other challenges Apple is also facing, no one could have predicted that Tesla's fortunes would change like this, but how perfect of timing would have it actually been for Apple to have a car in the next year or two ready to go? Unfortunately, that 10-year plus project wasn't able to materialize, and reports say one of the issues was not having a good enough AI for their car camera systems, amongst other issues. But look, bottom line, that is a big missed opportunity for them now and potentially in the future. Then you also have President Trump threatening a 25% smartphone tariff on Apple unless they make the iPhone in the US, which would cause the price of the phone to skyrocket. I doubt they're going to do that. You have their long-standing legal battles around the App Store, and then more influence than ever by outside agencies like the European Union that are affecting how Apple does business and even the ports they use in their products. So there's just a lot collectively coming at Apple in all these different directions, more than before and more than I can remember happening all at the same time. But we will see how they handle it in 2025 and really how this all plays out beyond that. Now, one way to handle it is to just focus on what's important and prioritize their efforts on making new innovative products that people want. Now, we've talked about the rumors on this channel that Apple was working on a camera-equipped Apple Watch for 2027, but those plans have been scrapped, and Apple is no longer pursuing that, according to Bloomberg. The idea was to have a camera on an Apple Watch that could view your surrounding environment to get information about objects and places near them, not be used for FaceTime. You've also got to imagine that this was also scrapped to allocate that effort and that manpower and energy to the rumored smart glasses. But it's interesting, the idea of a camera on a device looking at your surroundings, that is also what Jony Ive is potentially working on as well. Now, we're also, if we're talking about scrapping other things, Apple's also reportedly scrapped some features that were originally planned to launch with its rumored smart home hub device. These features could maybe appear later in future models, but Gurman says Apple made the decision to get the smart home hub ready faster to launch. Now, the delay of Apple's personalized Siri features, right, part of Apple Intelligence that still haven't made it as part of that rollout, already contributed to the delayed launch for the smart home hub. This is still a rumored product, with the idea that Apple would finally be making a hard push into the smart home, a space that, again, they haven't really fully invested in up to this point and are also trailing. Now, one of the rumored devices is a smart display mounted on a HomePod, but some reports believe it could also be a tablet-like device that's running its own OS that could be mounted on everything from a wall to a tabletop base. So if there's any place to see a smart home hub announcement or a move in that direction, WWDC feels like the right spot, but we will see. Now, one thing that is clear, look, that Apple doesn't have to worry about right now, AirPods are still king for Apple. According to a new report from tech research firm Canalys, Apple held its position as the global leader in wireless headphone market in the first quarter of 2025 with 18.2 million shipments. That makes up for 23.3% of market share. So this includes Apple's Beats line, and I reviewed what I believe are the best workout wireless earbuds in 2025. That's those Powerbeats Pros 2. Love those, still use those. Now, Apple holds over a 50% market share in the US. The total global shipments of the true wireless stereo market increased to 78.3 million units, which is an 18% increase compared to last year. So that is growing. Canalys also mentioned how the open ear wireless device category, that's been growing significant momentum for a more ambient-like listening experience without sticking things in your buds. Now, we know audio quality is not the same as in-ear products, but even over the past couple of years, I've seen the audio quality improve significantly with open wireless designs. And then if that trend is big enough, would Apple jump into that space as well? Maybe. I mean, they've got the AirPods brand and the power there. It wouldn't hurt. I mean, they could also take another chunk of that. And finally, a new report says Apple is taking gaming even more seriously and working on a standalone multi-platform app for games. According to Bloomberg, you'll be able to use this app to launch games with sections for in-game achievements, leaderboards, editorial content, communication, and more. We are expecting to see this game app make its debut at WWDC 25, And if it sounds a whole lot like Game Center, that's because this new app is planning to replace Game Center. So what are they going to call it? Like Game Hub? Because they can't call it Game Center again unless they do. But it'll also promote Apple Arcade while still including third-party games that are part of the regular App Store. And it will be previewed, we're expecting, at WWDC 25, and then the new game app is expected to roll out in September during their next major software update for iPhones, iPads, and Macs. So we'll have a full in-depth preview video of what to expect at WWDC 25 coming soon. But until then, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, hey, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell ding to get on my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/BrianTong. So thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace and love.